Howdy, howdy to everybody out there in TV land. The YouTube is smoking tonight. Used to those over here in Catfish's Corner. We'll be making some hot pipes because it is fucking cold in the dungeon. Oh, Patches. Poor Patches. Look at her. She's all upset looking. It's like, but Daddy, go lay down. Don't sit here and stare at me. What? No, no. I ain't having it. Go. Get, get. Look at the look on her face. Oh, you can't see it. Look at the look on that face. She's like, fuck you. I'm coming down there. Go. You've lost your mind. No. Look. That's it. I can check on my coffee. Go. Come on. Go. I ain't having this all night. Anyhow, how you doing, Kate? Let me get some Ovaltine. Put on. Rich chocolatey Ovaltine for my coffee. It's like chocolate milk, but better. Got vitamins in it. Fucking cold here in eastern Colorado. How y'all doing this evening? Mm. Yeah, I hear dog. Listen to her. She's digging up the door. But bitch got it open too. I ain't having it on. Go. Get. Go. Too bad. You can't come down and go with us. She don't like being away from me very much. Can you tell? She's like, it's bedtime. I don't give a fuck. Crazy dogs. Chico's right there with her too. He's like, come on, man. He pissed on my pillow last night. I got him locked out of my room is the problem. Chico pissed on my pillow last night. I was like, motherfucker. Yeah, I did just throw my pipe on the ground. Motherfucker. It's all good. It stayed together. So it's not only pretty, it's durable. A little bit of hard pressed hash never hurt nobody's that I know of. I don't know their name. Get Mary Jane in here with some weather. It's cold. It's cold as fuck. It's fucking cold. That's the weather. Sorry to hear that, dog. Yeah, it's rough when we lose them family members been around for a while. Damn dogs creep up in your feelings and just stick there, don't they? No trees down. No, I didn't see no 60-mile-an-hour winds. They was wrong. Like I said, we ain't getting no weather like that shit. It's cold as fuck though. It is cold as fuck. It's out there icing. Yeah, I'm drawing in cold air too, so it's kind of cold in here. But yeah, it did get cold. It kept getting colder all day, just like they said it would. But the wind never really picked up. We might have seen 20-mile-an-hour winds, but there wasn't anything significant like they were talking about last night. And they were freaking me out, talking about 60-mile-an-hour winds for 10 hours. I was like, that's something wrong with that. Yeah, I think they're wrong. And they were absolutely fucking wrong. Because we didn't get nothing like that shit, except for the cold. It got way too cold. I guess they ain't never had no pets they love die on them, dog. I don't know, because, man, I lost my last set of dogs almost 10 years ago, and I still cry over the damn things, man. I miss them. You fucking miss them. You know, they're in most cases better than people. Animals are in most cases better than most people I know. Same time, same spot. Yeah, Kim, we're seeing repeated odd weather patterns. Wonder why that is. Well, that's you know why that is. You can predict the time of day and night. Your internet's going to go out. I just sat and waited for mine to go out and come back. I'm hoping it doesn't flash out again. It might. I'm in danger zone until about 1 o'clock here. That's another hour and a half. Because going through those field lines, it knock that Wi-Fi right out. 16, fuck that. it's 30, like 2, 33. It's barely freezing here. But there's ice coming down right now. It was 100 degrees yesterday. So yeah, it got pretty cold pretty quick. Like I said, we didn't have a whole bunch of down trees or no big winds at all. So it was just like 20 mile an hour, little piddly fart winds, a little bit of misty rain today that turned into ice. Yeah, the black helicopters. I know, right? Hey, what's up, Pollyanna? How you doing? So it's warmer today for you, huh? Go lucky you. It's colder than it's been here in 8 months. It's just it's winter cold. And we don't even get this cold until December, January, late December, early January. It don't even start getting down this cold out here in Colorado. Every now and again you'll have a cold day, but it doesn't really get that, especially in September. Man, this is crazy. I remember it snowed once for my birthday while we was here, but that's another month from now. Ready to smoke some breakfast? That's the way to do it, Polly. Mary Jane over here smoking too. I got my bowl full of some nice hand pressed hash. I guess it's 420 somewhere. Huh. 50 years, huh? Yeah, I don't know if we set any records or not, but I don't like it. I never liked the cold very much. It's not my friend. It is the power company flying over your house. Yeah, I can't either. I get cramped up. My shoulder right now I'm feeling it. I'm wondering how long I'm going to blow blast tonight. But yeah, it'll warm up Wednesday, maybe, or Thursday. I think Thursday. I'll be warm again for at least a week after that, I think. Forecast La Junta. Here's the forecast for La Junta. Yeah, it's been up in the 90s for me. Um, yeah, I'm 34 right now. 12 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be 36. Great. So I'm going to gain 2 degrees tomorrow. It says snowing all night, snowing in the morning.
snowing till 10 o'clock. Then it stops snowing and it starts climbing again. And by 5 o'clock, I'll be 43 degrees. That's a heat wave. Thursday, they already knocked it down 20 degrees from where it was. But it says I'm starting to warm up. But then again, like I said, it just kicked it back. Scattered showers on Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, fuck, man. They said I was supposed to get 60-mile-an-hour winds last night. Like, what the fuck is that? There's a fucking hurricane coming through. I didn't see that on the map. 70 today and rain, huh? Yeah. It was almost 100 yesterday, and now it's icing. And it's been cold as fuck all day. It's just steady been getting colder all day from yesterday. It's just been getting colder all day. Throughout the day, it got colder from what it was in the morning. I was like, oh shit, that part was true. They really were right about the temperature drop like that throughout the day. I haven't seen that happen too often. Because it was warmer at 5 a.m. than it was at noon. And that's just not normal. So my heater just kicked in upstairs. I got an $11 gas bill last month just for the hot water. I bet it goes up this month. Shit. Pollyanna, I got 100-pound fucking hound dog and a little 2-pound fucking chihuahua that climbs on the. Every time I lay down on my bed, I should go do it right now. I can go lay down on my bed. That fucking hound dog would lay across my feet or up across this way, and then that chihuahua comes and lays right in the crack of my ass. Where in the hell I got room for a snuggle bunny? And most mornings I wake up, my youngin's over here on the other side in his fucking covers. Everybody likes my bed. Fucking Chico, though, he's locked out of it right now. They're kind of pissed. I don't care. Chico pissed on my pillow yesterday, last night. Matter of fact, I was pissed. Like, oh, motherfucker, you ain't getting in my room tonight. That's what he did it while I was laying there, sitting there watching. I forget what I was watching. Some kind of fucking sci-fi movie, probably. And I was real tired. Oh, tired, and I went to lay down. That little motherfucker pissed on my pillow while I wasn't looking. Shit was all wet. It's not good. No good. Yep, I am a monk. I'm a devoted monk. I'm married to my glass and my marijuanas. And seriously, what individual, I don't give a shit, woman or man, could handle being around me 20 hours a day. That's like that's like torture. Trust me. That's like torture, girl. You don't want to be around I am way too intense for most human beings. And I mean that. I know what I know. I know. I am way too intense for most human beings. That's just the way it is. No, no. He wasn't licking it. He pissed on it. It was a nice little puddle. It wasn't just my pillow. Mine licks where Patches lays down all the time. Nah, I know the difference. That was dog piss, and it was from little cheeky Ito. He gets upset because, I'm a guy, and he likes Miss Patches, you see. So he likes to mark my bed as his territory. It's not the first time he's done it. Little shithead. She'll be leaving her smell around about time she wants to go into heat. He'll start doing that shit. So he's just marking his little territory on my pillow, little bitch. Motherfucker. Yeah, it was wet last night. I was like, oh man. I, I just had to, fuck, it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think I was doing laundry because Chico had pissed on my damn pillow again. Oh, fucker. Who ever heard of a dog pissing where they lay down? That's not right. He's just little. He's too little to have a brain that works right. I give Chico all kinds of leeway. He just looks at you with that little fucking bent tail wagging like that, like he ain't done nothing. He don't even know he done anything. You know what I mean? He's like, he's just happy to see you right after he's done some crazy shit. And it's like, man, you don't even know what you done, did you? You don't even know. He's like, hey, he gets more excited because you're talking to him. How you doing, Chunka? Fucking dogs, man. Patches though, boy, she shames really good. She knows, even if she ain't doing nothing. If I come in here, what are you doing? All of a sudden, she's been bad. She knows she's like, oh shit. It works good with her, but Chico not so much. He's too stupid. uh, yeah, it's always fun when friends split up. Well, Shonka, they're going to get worse. You got to calm that magnet. Raise your let your field lines rise up. Block all that interference out. Yeah, no, he ain't gonna want to be away from his kid. Oh well, Shunka, you're a lot closer to where the energy's coming in, huh? In Texas. Magnet, I don't care what blue Kool-Aid says, a magnet takes in its energy at the accretion disk, which is our equator. The poles are where energy comes out. That's why we have the aurora boreas or aurora borealis. I'm sounding like fucking scientific Lee now. But yeah, if you're down here in Texas, that's pretty close to the freaking equator, and that's where all that induction and the field lines are happening. The closer to the equator, the more frequencies you're going to experience, and everything accompanying that, from you to your machinery. I mean, internets, all that stuff. The further south you are, or closer to that equator, the stronger you're going to experience all of that. So if you're up in the mountains, up in the northern regions, yeah, your system's probably like, woo, good to get out of that. And then now you're back down there. Um, I can only imagine you're hearing some frequencies. Moon and no lake, I don't know. Maybe. I think I did. Since I'm ready to leave. I'm always ready to leave when I get to Texas. Isn't there a way around this motherfucker? It's just like everywhere you drive, there's a fucking Texas. Oh my god. I've felt like that several times trying to get places across the country and shit in my RV. I've been like, man, I gotta go through Texas. I really gotta go through Texas again. And then I finally met my friends in Houston, and I didn't mind going to Houston, but the rest of Texas, like west of Houston, is just absolutely insanely suck. And there ain't much of Texas east of Houston, so that's cool. Not saying Louisiana's one of my favorite spots in the world either, or Arkansas, or Florida, but sometimes we need to get there. Well, they're young. They don't have the stressed out magnet that you do. Some people just don't pay it attention. Thunder's rumbling. Isn't that crazy when that happens? That's a new phenomenon too, where it's just a nonstop rumble in the sky. Or you talk about just normal thunder rumbling? Because around here sometimes it gets to where it's just steadily for like it'll go for an hour, hour and a half, just rumbling. It's fucking nuts. I ain't never heard no shit like that before. And It was just doing that this a couple months ago, maybe. I was taking a video of it. I remember it was probably a live feed. Got wiped though. Nice. Well, I was down there about 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, when they legalized, like 2014, about 6 years ago. Right when I left Davis, I went right to Houston, or Galveston, actually. I went to Houston, and my boy loaded us up in a fucking van, and we drove down to Galveston. I parked at his house and in Houston, and he 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 says, "Buddy, I promise you, you get to my house, you ain't got nothing to worry about." And we loaded up in the van. He took me down to Galveston and says, "This is your gallery." I was like, "Oh, what do you mean, my gallery? This is art gallery." He didn't want to run it. He had three businesses up in Houston and couldn't find anybody he could trust. And I'm the one that taught him how to blow glass. He knew I wasn't going to rip him off. I ran the art gallery for a year while I fought for medical rights. It turned out really good. I had a good time in Galveston. I was just really happy to leave. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Well, it's not everything is a conspiracy theory. Yeah, laser started it. That's what kills me too. The dues. I've been telling people that this is coming, why it's going to happen way before it happened. Just like the damn lockdown. Oh my God, man. Everybody's running around. Do I wear a mask? Who do I vote for? Y'all ain't been paying attention, have you? Not at all. Some of these fucking people haven't. I mean, you guys. I'm not talking to you. You know that. I'm just saying, most of my friends on Facebook never paid the fuck attention. I got 1,700 people left on my page, or 1,200, I think. I got it down under 1,500 finally. But I'm still going. Most of them just ain't never paid attention to a word I said. You can tell it by everything they post up there, everything they're talking about. You know, I have to, or I get fined $100. Fucking Colorado, it sucks, but fuck it. I just tie it around my neck. Nobody really cares. That's one thing I've noticed. Nobody really cares. Yeah, the store employees don't seem to give a fuck because they hang out with them fucking all like, who gives a fuck? Are you kidding me? I can't believe I got to wear this thing. And I'm talking, people my age or so working for the dollar store or whatever. They don't give a fuck. They've been in there since COVID 1 and they ain't got sick yet. They're tired of spraying this shit everywhere. But some of the customers, you can tell, they don't even want to get near you because they're afraid they're going to catch your COVIDs. Those are the ones that are dangerous. They're scared. Scared animals, man. Just rumbles. Yeah, I'm sure it was awesome in the 70s. Everything was awesome in the 70s, Gil. Yeah, shops require your masks. Some of them will. They do around here. Some of them. Some of the gas stations are real pricks about it. One of them in particular is most people aren't so stringent on it. Especially like the dollar store people. But I got this gas station in town. This lady that runs this thing's always been a bitch, anyways. Man, you walk in there without your fucking mask, she'd be like, "You can't. We won't serve you without a mask." I'm like, well, fuck. Last time I was in there, I said, "Well, fuck you. I'll go somewhere else." And I've never been back either. But I'm running out of places to go in this little town. I really, I swear to God, I don't go to the Safeway. I don't go to fucking Walmart. So there's both my grocery stores out. I'm shopping at Dollar Store and fucking uh, Dollar Tree because I won't go into either one of them goddamn stores. Albertson, Safeway people, I don't like it. I don't like them as much as I don't like Walmart. And Walmart done piss me the fuck off. I'm done with them bitches. I'll go without rather than go in that place ever again. Yeah, that's why I say, Polly, safety's safety is an illusion. Everyone's like, "Where can I be safe?" I'm like, "Oh, further away from the shore than you probably are, but safe." We're talking about 70-pound rocks falling like hail here pretty soon. Where are you going to be safe? That's it's an illusion. Eric Briggs should do safety as an illusion videos. That's that mother that motherfucker, he'd get lots of likes at that point because safety is an illusion. It really is. The world is a dangerous place. That's the way it is. And it doesn't have to be. Unfortunately, we allow it to be. No, they don't. They're just scared in general. The population is, the government's made them that way. Yeah, I'm not fans of Walmart after what they did to my ass. Right before COVID too, remember that? I was just getting caught up and shit from some fucking other bullshit I was going through, and got myself some supplies and shit, and then started sending off to everybody on YouTube. And Walmart locked up my finances, sent their money back, started telling people they was probably victims of fraud and shit. And luckily, most of the people they did that to were repeat customers already. But I mean, I'm a licensed fucking business, number one. They can't be fucking doing that shit because I mean, I've never ripped anybody off. I'd used that service for fucking almost 10 years. Lady in their legal department, when they were talking to me, they stopped talking to me after the second bout of this shit, though, because she was assuring me that I've never seen such a pristine account. I've never seen such an extensive account. And there ain't no reason you should have a problem one ever. And I went back in there and they sent all of them back. There was like 10 or 12 fucking money orders in there. I was counting on that shit to be paying some bills too. That put me another month behind because they got their money back and I had shit. I had already sent off some of the product. Thank God, like Peter, he sent me a money order right away. He's my first ever online customer too. Before I was even making videos, he was buying my shit off of Facebook. I'd post up some of my rose marbles, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, dude!" I was like, "Ain't they pretty?" He's like, "I want it, I want it." I was like, "Well, I ain't never sold online, but I made an exception for for Peter, and it worked out good. So I went and started selling online a little bit. You know, I'd never tried that before. Claiming it's from tech. Yeah, Dutch is a dick face. He's a little dick hole. I know, he's a dick hole. He's a fucking dick hole, and I wish I'd have blocked him before I taught him how to fucking predict quakes. Just put it that way. I didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? He's just a fucking dickhole. He was one of the most fucking assish people to me when I was telling him, look, man, you should be telling people how you're doing this. He goes, well, you just found a pattern. There's a pattern. He says, there ain't nothing caused it. It's just the fucking way it is. And wanted to argue with me and shit. And he called me crazy because I said there's going to be 5.0 quakes, motherfucker. And every day, all day, he's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." He was a dick. He was a bigger dick to me than Bobby was. I blocked him on both accounts. I don't think I even got Bobby blocked on both accounts, just the one. Anyways, fuck him. Fuck Dutch. Fuck his ass. He's just as bad as the rest of them. Tell him to put a patent on it. He needs to. I got something for him to put a patent on. Settle down, fish. He ain't done nothing to you. Oh, yeah, he did. So that's the old fish. You know, I don't care if he tells people who taught him. I just want him to fucking be honest, man. But, you know, I think he is being honest. I think he really thinks I'm nuts. He'll block you if you mention my name around him. Fucking yell at you. He and I have fought a lot. He learned how to do what he does on my Facebook fucking almost a decade ago before I got good. He's still an amateur, truly. I can hit these motherfuckers almost to the minute now. Definite region and magnitude. I've got that down pretty good. You don't know who Dutch is? Well, count yourself lucky. He sells hot sauce and t-shirts. That's about the good he does. No, he's one of these earthquake predictors, and I taught him how to do it on my 24-hour quake map. Those dot line, that line of dots below my map, there's a pattern in it. You watch that fucking thing, and you'll see the pattern. It's just you got to watch it close now because it's only 7 to 10 hours at the most on that fucking quake map. Back in the day when I was teaching Dutch, it was a full 24-hour map. It only started doing this year, where it's below 24 hours worth of fucking quakes. You could see the pattern. It was every 5 hours, and then it started tightening up, and then all of a sudden, 23 hours of quakes, 22 hours of quakes. I'm like, oh shit. And then they had that big one in California, And it ain't been past 12-hour quakes since then. What, dude? I don't do a best damn podcast anymore, Pollyanna. He does everything under the sun that he can throw out and get money at. I'm not into those kind of channels. I can't mix this kind of truth with fucking Palladian messages, man. And he's one of those channels. I don't have anything against John over there, but yeah, I am honest. That's half of why people think I'm angry because I'm so fucking honest. And oh well, people need honesty for God's sake. When's the last time we had honesty from anything? Fucking not too often. Well, Kim, that's what I do. If I find someone asking who, what, when, where, why, I'll drop them a fucking link and be like, "Here, I back it with $100. If you want to know the truth, I back it with $100. I don't ask for your fucking money. I offer you money. Prove me wrong." I've been proven wrong before by myself. Mom proved me wrong once, maybe twice. It proved me wrong once and then showed me where I was scared unneededly, I think. And she proved me wrong twice. I've been proven wrong twice by a planet. All right. I don't know how to give the woman $100, but she did. She proved me wrong and showed me where I was wrong. And I corrected it. I made videos. I told the world how I figured out I was wrong because I didn't. Mom showed me divine intervention. Barn owls don't like the daylight. No, I don't either. And right now is perfect time to be blowing glass between 12 and 4 o'clock. It's nice and cool out. It's cold out. Gut cells soak. He sells hot sauce. Well, they're in Galveston. Yeah, there's a lot of rundown buildings down there on the strip. Yeah, see, Polly, you're one up on me. I don't even trust myself. That's pretty sad. But like I said, I mean, I've been proven wrong by a planet now twice. Thanks for stopping in, though, Polly. Have a good day or night. I'm fixing to get started here. I got my glasses nice and warm now. It's been sitting here soaking at temperature for about 20 minutes. We're going to continue listening to The Lost Book of Enki tonight, read by old Josh Reeves. The flood just happened and receded. Everybody decided they were glad the humans lived, and now we can build shrines to our alien overlord gods. Well, I don't put it past it, Shunka. I've healed my self pretty well too. Um, had a collapsed Guyana canal and a torn rotator cuff. I couldn't bring my arm up to my shoulder for the longest time because of the rotator cuff. And one day, I during all my research and shit, I'm sitting there reading about how frequency can heal and how we can send frequency through our bodies and shit. And I was like, all right, well, let's try that. Man, I felt a fucking pop in there, and I'll tell you what, my fucking arm has worked ever since. I never had an operation from a rotator cuff. Now, every now and again, I mean, it's sore today because it's cold, but I mean, I can still lift my fucking arm up over my shoulders. Good. Goosebumps and stem cell generation. I know. 1748 hertz. It will. It amazing, isn't it? That's why I said if you're not doing that a couple times a day, you're not living. You got to tweak that frequency out, just like breathing a plant fart. It is a stand up scientific correlation. There you go. That's another, exactly. That's another correlation from science that 1748 hertz, your goosebumps. You're sending out your electromagnetic frequency and interchanging with mother and creation at that point, and your energy's getting cleaned, and you're giving mama what she needs, and that's that plant person or plant animal. Well, that's animal planet relationship. You know, it's why wouldn't it be? Why is that magnet in our chest if it's not like that? Nice. Goosebumps and stem cells. Who would have thought it? All thought it. Obviously, you thought it, didn't you? Because you came back with it. That's awesome. Well, that's what I mean about fucking people going out and doing your own research. Because you bring cool shit like that back. Who the I would have. I wouldn't have gone looking for fucking stem cells and goosebumps. I don't even know how you came across that shit. It's amazing. This is what I'm. Hey, Rebel. But this is what I mean about a group effort in this, because so many correlations come in just like that. Apparently, there's a tie-in with goosebumps and stem cell production. So we'll have to investigate that one, right? Yeah, it's crazy how the crops are looking horrible. I picked the wrong day to shave. I know it's cold, huh? It was getting itchy, Regal. I can't stand it long like that. It drives me nuts. I'll bet you're glad she did. You thought she was crazy, huh? I think she was smart. Well, it helps your overall energy in your body. Yeah, absolutely. It sends your electromagnetic frequency down your body. That's how you get fingerprints. Yeah, you just got to get excited. Listen to some good music or something if that helps. Get inspired by something. Get goosebumps. It's not that hard to do. And it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart. That's what we're supposed to be practicing. That's how we're supposed to be talking to each other. That's our language, not typing and not talking, not talking, not dinging on the fucking Facebooks. We're supposed to be talking with intent from here, and that's instantaneous globally. We don't need tablets. Yeah, the hail doesn't help crops very much, does it? Good, Sergio. I am not. I'm just trusting that Mama's gonna hold me in her hands when she goes flipping because I don't want to be flipping off the fucking planet. I don't know how to fly. I just want to fly. I ain't figured it out yet. I ain't put a whole lot of effort into figuring out how to fly either, to be honest with you. I've been working on other things, trying to get information to other people, trying to fucking help Mom. I can only imagine she's going to help me when I need it. She's already been there for me. So I'm not too worried about learning how to fly. She just keeps telling me just to keep it relaxed when things get crazy. So just keep it relaxed when things get crazy. That's I'm relaying a message. I suppose you might be able to, Kevcat. I don't know. Um, I think rather than using an external source, you should probably work on your internal, not eternal. Well, your eternal internal. I suppose you could say both. Because that spark is your spark of life. That magnet, the magnet that emanates from your chest, is the spark of life that God gave you. That's in all living things. Everything's magnet. We have a big magnet in our chest, and just like Earth's, just like the sun's, and that's just not coincidence. That's why we were drawing these things as people, because they're people. Mother's a person, Ra is a person. None of them are gods. Uh, they are of first creation, The ones that made them gods are the ones we're fixing to listen to, and we're actually going to listen to how they did it tonight. Marduk's going to assume the identities, and they're going to try and hide us from ourselves. And we'll be hearing that section really soon. Marduk here is fixing to take the Sphinx and put his head on it. Everybody's pissed off at him right now. It's a lion. Ngur, what's his name? Nagursu or whatever, fucking Enlil's kid, he's pissed off too. They're fixing to kill some motherfuckers. And usually when they go kill motherfuckers, we're the motherfuckers are killing. Yeah, Serge. Yeah, I could get pretty high on it on the magnet. I can't wait until it's all we do. I I don't think you could function in society being on the magnet at all times. I can't even talk. It's like slowing down to talk. I'm sure you've already figured that out. And you go from an instantaneous to trying to talk. It's like your words get mumbled, and yeah, you just don't do it. I try not to be on the magnet when I'm on the film. I've done that before. I'll blow glass with mom, and you can tell I'm trying to hold it in, hold it in, hold it. I'm over there dancing and shit, barefoot on my glass floor. I ain't never got my foot cut yet. She keeps me light on my feet. Really, I get shit through my shoe that cuts my foot. But when I'm blowing glass with mama, I ain't never got cut yet. Yeah, I know magnet's pretty good. I I uh I totally understand what we can do. I'm just not sure how to do it. I know I'll tell you this much. It's human nature. We've been trained out of it though, but it's in our instincts to use it at some points. Um, how could it not be? It explains an awful lot of phenomenon, unexplained phenomenon. Uh, just people being able to lift cars when they shouldn't be able to. I could go on all day about unexplained phenomenon that this explains. We have a magnet. It's not really unexplained anymore to me. It's very intense. Well, yeah. Well, have you not been through that? I've been through that several times. But we're going to have to keep our magnets calm anyway, no matter what we're going through. It might get hard. Well, we are moments away from starting post deluge with Marduk starring as he starts going on a rampage. Him and Nick Nigurksel or Nigur I can't pronounce fucking. They hate each other a lot, and yeah, there's going to be a bunch of death and mayhem, mostly on us. I don't even think they actually kill each other, like maybe once or twice in the whole fucking parade, where they'll go out and kill the supporters, us, and then give like Marduk goes around tonight. He'll go around the planet. And he'll try and take on all the identity of all the deities or that they're making out of some of these drawings, like Ra. Ra was never a deity, but he turned it into a deity. He took the persona of it and started ruling, and then they tried to hide our writings from ourselves. And they'll tell about this process where he goes over in Peru and then Asia and Turkey and starts doing the same thing. And they're going to get pissed off at the guy and kill us. And then after they kill us, they give him rule of the planet. I'm like, well, why the fuck did they kill us? And then give him what he fucking wanted anyways. Right? Like, that's breath. Like, let's kill them all, destroy this, and they blow up mountains and shit, and then they give him exactly what the fuck he wanted anyways. And we're all dead. You know what I mean? It's like, so the creator of all is fixing to get on their ass tonight. And this is the last time they say something about the creator of all in this book. And he's basically telling them, get the fuck off the planet. And they haven't. Right after they kill us again. So that brings us current, where the creator of all will have told them twice the Earth's people need to have their planet back. Here we are today. And we know the picture of what's fixing to go down. And that's why I'm trying to have a meeting with these people so they can hash it out with mom and go heal their planet, because creator doesn't want to destroy them all. That would be a waste of this. It would be a sin not to learn from this. And that's how creation feels about it. He's ready to forgive them too. How can you forgive somebody that keeps aggressing? So we'll just see how that ends. I've read the book. It doesn't end very well for them because it's their end they're writing about. So, as far as I can tell, and they know it. That's what kills me. They ain't stupid. These things are not stupid, and they look like us. A lot of people are like, "What do they look like?" They look like us. They made us in their image. For God's sake, they're out there fucking everybody. They think we're hot. You know what I mean? Fucking apparently they look like us. They've been doing this for centuries. Of course they look like us. But there's a lot of myths running around about this Neberu thing, and that's like last night we were sitting here listening, and it says when the sun and Neberu get close to Earth, Earth starts going through tribulations, and I'm all like, why in the hell would they mention a sun and Neberu getting close to Earth if they ain't traveling to fucking together? Because the sun's right there, right? It shouldn't matter if the sun's right there. A planet can't do what has been doing to us for 10 years, like turning us on our side and shit like that. Can't do it. Couldn't possibly do it. These suns do and can all day long. I knew what to look for in planetary physics. I was like, that's got to be a sun or a black hole. I was going to go with either one. And then I realized, a black hole wouldn't have tilted us on our side. It would have just sucked us in. So that went out the window pretty quick. But it had to be a sun, and it had to be a live sun, because a dead sun isn't going to do the same thing. It's not going to be polarized like that. And here we are. We've actually got two suns coming in. I didn't ask for it, but here we are. And go figure. Fuck, man. All the names of these fucking suns that we've heard about all around the world, from Nemesis to Vulcan to the blue Kachina and red Kachinas, I mean, all around the world. All around the world they've been writing about these things. Of course they fucking exist. Well, good. Hi, Desert. I hope your friends have seen the moon doing cartwheels. That would be the first thing I'd show them. Rise at wax and roll 180 degrees set and wane. It's a pretty good eye opener to start with. That way they don't have to read a book and they can never unsee it. Uh, they can't turn it off on their screens. They can't get tired of looking at it. It's in the sky every night. And that's something they're going to have to deal with in the long run. So I find that it is the best tool to get somebody to understand at least something bigger than what the government's telling them is going on. That's a good start for some. Yeah, 30's a tough. 30 to 40 is pretty tough. For some of it. I used to get sick. I was so upset about this shit. I had to let it go. Good. Good. Damn. Good. That's that's my donate button. You just beat up right there. Pounding on that shit. That's awesome. Your neighbors and waking up. That's been my hope for this the whole time. It's somebody actually learns and understands what the fuck is going on and go out and share it, because I can't share it with everybody. But if I get a bunch of people fucking sharing it, it's just gonna fucking grow. And we gotta tell everybody. This is amazing shit. Damn it. How many people do you know that just wake up one day and start reading fucking hieroglyphs and then teaching people how to do it? And this is first for me. How often do you fucking get to see a moon doing cartwheels? Well, every night now. But yeah, it's fucking, dude. It's an amazing time to be alive right now, and people are running around in fear. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, don't worry, be happy. Just don't worry, be happy. You're doing a lot better than anybody pushing up daisies. No, it takes time for some people to notice the moon's doing cartwheels, and you got to stick with the moon. It's something. You don't want to get into funky clouds and just going off all over the place. You give them something they can look at like consistently, and leave it alone. Let them look at it. Remind them every now and again when you see it. Show them the moon is doing cartwheels. If you're out with your family, mention it when you meet up with them, and then go to dinner and shit, play your cards, whatever, and then when you're leaving or when they're leaving, fucking point it out again. The damn moon's doing, boop, it just moved 45 fucking degrees in the last few hours. That's pretty weird. And then from then on, for the next 3 days or so, they'll be looking at that. And every time they look at it, it's at a different angle. Let something like that chew on somebody for 3 days and see if they don't come back at you. Be like, hey, man, what the fuck's up with the moon? It works. Oh, the hieroglyphs. Oh, yeah, you got to send him to the scientific league. He does that pretty good. A lot of people don't want to look. No, they just don't. They don't. And unfortunately, there's not much you can do about it. That's their free will. Um, there just ain't much you can do about it. Some people think they're smarter than you, or they're too smart for you because they know better. They know the moon ain't supposed to do cartwheels. This guy's crazy. Well, it is doing cartwheels. I had a guy who thought I was crazy. He still thinks I'm crazy. But for 4 years, he kept telling his wife, well, every time I look at it, it looks normal. And one day I drove over when it was a grin. And I was like, what's so fucking normal about that, Leo? And he looks at it and he turns sideways like this. He's like, and he turns to me, ghost white, says, what the hell made that happen? I'm like, dude, I told you for 4 years now what made that happen. That's awesome, Desert. And see, you're already waking people up, your neighbors and everybody else, and that's why you've gone back and you've looked. You know what to look for. You know what to show people, and you know what's going on. That way, when they come at you with questions, you got answers, and you don't hesitate because you know what's going on, and it all makes sense. So it's not like you have to search for an answer when they have these questions that are hard questions. 'Cause I've never scripted any fucking thing. And I'll answer any question right off the top of my head most of the time, right off the top of my head, if it's relevant to what's going on. You know, sometimes, of course, I'll have to go look something up, like a zip fucking, what do they call it? A zip engine or some uh, zip motor, some shit like that. Fucking NASA come out, some crazy shit like that. I was like, a zip line motor. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it turns out it's an engine. And I'm like, how can you equate a space phenomenon with a man-made engine? So I started looking at the engine as a capacitance discharge. Poof. I was like, oh. Like, you gotta be fucking. Oh my God, NASA's telling you what's going on, but they're using some. It confused me. You know what I mean? They literally came out and told you Earth is fucking blowing ass because she's building up charge. But they did it in a way that nobody's ever going to fucking know what the hell they're talking about. Blue moon, I guess, is this going to have two full moons because that's what blue moon means. It's doing cartwheels though. Yeah, the moon's been late lately. I guess it was half an hour late last night. What are you gonna do? We're slowing down. Look, those. The fucking fires that started up in Washington and up there in Mammoth Lake, they're definitely volcanic. Um, there ain't no question in my mind. They started in the creek beds and shit, and they've been having 300-degree surface temperatures up there monitored. And that shit will set any kind of brush on fire. Except down in them fucking creek beds. That's where the hotbeds are. And they're pretty moist down there in the creek beds. It's got to take some fucking heat to start some fucking fires down there in that shit. I know the campground that shit is burning down there in Mono. Oh, there's no way it should be burning. There's no way it should be burning. It's surrounded by like swamp right there. It just that whole region right there shouldn't be burning. It never burns like that. It shouldn't be burning. It's wet. It's always wet. There's water running down that mountain all the time from the hot springs and shit. Uh, and it floods out into a plain and then just leaks into the river that's coming down already from glacier run out. But the closer you get to the river, there's more hot spots too. Uh, it's got to be volcanic in that region if they're on fire and starting fires there. That's just uh, fuck, man. That's got to be volcanic. It can't be lightning starting shit down there. That's not the region. Something like that would happen. There's no dry nothing in the region. I agree. I try not to get migraines. Don't we all? Headaches. Right. What are you doing? Killing viruses? You don't need one. They're pretty cool. Um, if you got your frequencies set in, you can fix damn near anything with one. But you're a walking rifle machine. You're a walking rifle machine. Yeah, well, as far as I understand, they can cure cancer. I don't know if you're going to get the right frequency. I don't know if they would actually tell you the right frequency. Um, they may. I don't know. I know Rick Simpson oil works. I know that works most of the time. Doing both couldn't hurt. I can tell you that right now. But Rick Simpson oil even cures melanoma. Um, that used to be a straight death sentence. You'd be getting melanoma. Um, but they just rub it on there. You don't even need to get high with the shit. You just rub it on every day, and the shit just shrinks right up. Fucking amazing. Oh, your liver. Mm. You never know. Look, no, I was in the hospital 6 times because my liver was shutting down, and I was on their painkillers. And I'm talking like from 19 to 22. It was over just a few years. They figured out that it was the medicines that was killing my liver. They said I had cirrhosis and I was going to die. They kept telling me I was going to die uh, from a failed liver. And I quit taking all their medications and started medicating with THC. And I'm still on the no donate list for blood because I had a bad liver. They can't even find the damaged liver enzyme in my blood now. And they actually have to go back and look at my medical records to tell that I'm not lying. I actually was sick for years from a horrible liver. And it was due to the fucking medications they had me on. But my shit healed is the thing. It healed. They said it's impossible that if I was sick, that I should still have the damaged liver enzyme in my blood, and I don't. I'm telling you right now, stop taking aspirin. Start taking some Rick Simpson oil. That's not edibles. That's different. That's hash oil, basically. It's cooked down. It's herbal. It's easy to make. It saved my life from the same thing. I was in the hospital shitting fucking ghost white. It was as white as my fucking coffee mug. And my shit was that white, and my piss was black. It was completely fucking backwards, man. I was sick as fuck. They can't even find my damaged liver enzyme anymore. I am completely healed. Yeah, I eat it. I eat it now. I used to do a lot of fucking hash oil and a lot of hash. I still do hash. I smoke the fuck out of it for my nerve damage and for my pain. Instead of taking aspirin and Tylenols and Tylenol 3, hydrocodone, fentanyl patches, they were trying to kill me. Um, I eat it all the time. Green butter. I make fucking green butter all the time. I have it all the time. I don't make it all the time, but I have it all the time. When I run out, I make it. I make a point to make it. I make a point to have hash or some kind of concentrate around to keep my cramps down. But over the years, it's been like I've been clean for 30 years. Um, I don't know when my damaged enzyme disappeared, but I do know it's not there now. It hasn't been there for at least 5 years. I can tell you that for sure. Um, I'm living proof. It saved my life. You got to stay off of aspirin. Just, if I'm having aspirin, it's because I got a hell of a toothache going on, and it's sitting on top of that tooth that hurts. I'm trying not to swallow it. I'll sit there until that shit's just aspirin liquid and spit it the fuck out. It's there for one reason to treat that tooth, and that's it. I don't even want it in my belly. Good. Well, you're going to see that you're going to start feeling better and all. You're going to just start feeling better. Good. Yeah, and you're a lot easier to function. You can function. You can get up off the fucking couch. You know, every time you move, you don't feel sick. I remember being on those badass drugs, and it's not the way you want to live. Yeah. Well, you keep on that track, and you'll be doing just fine. I know what it's like to have that bad liver. It sucks. I don't even drink to this day because I'm afraid I'll get sick. I've never been a drinker because I've been afraid I'll get sick since I was a drinking age. It is, Neil, because, well, I'm sure what you've been on the drugs for 10 years. You were a kid when you started. Now you're an adult with what you know and your mind's clearing up. I'm sure you are having a good time right now. Keep it that way. Keep off of your fucking opiates. Those things suck. I'm with you. If you want to heal, that you're on the best route right now. Green. And frequency. I make some good green butter. You'd be better off on green butter, Rebel. Green butter and hemp seed. It'd do your heart good. Nice. Good. That's when you know you're doing it good, Kim. When you got your friends wanting to go to the hospital. Say, nice. Give me two. Fuck yeah. It's pretty damn nice legalization, isn't it? All they got the menus and shit, and it looks like a nice organized thing going on there. Yeah, I like legalization. I fought for it really hard. I never fought for recreational, always for medical, because the medical, there's a definitive use. There's a definite need for recreational weed too, but I didn't feel like I had a leg to stand on fighting in a political arena with that one. So I never took it on. It really, I'm loving it out here in Colorado. I am fucking at home. I love it. Yeah, I fought for it in California. I can't go to California though. I'm telling people get the fuck out of California. uh, I wish I could go back home. I really do. I miss it. But now my favorite spot in the world's actually on fire now. And I've been telling people it's don't fucking happen. My favorite fucking spot in the world is on fire. The Mono Hot Springs, Mono Lake. That fire up there is it shouldn't be happening. Yeah, homegrown buds usually have better keys than what you're going to find on the street. Ah, that's for sure. By the time you get the buds that you're buying on the street or even in the club, it's been stepped on once or twice. You ain't the only one that knows about Keith. That's why I like to grow my own personally. I didn't grow it this season though. Mama told me not to. She said there ain't gonna be no harvest. I'll tell you what, my tomato plants I've had growing up here for 5 years, they grew from pot to pot to pot to pot. They're dead. I can't hardly fucking. They're just they're fucking dying. They're dead. They're all brown, dead. So I'm glad I didn't waste my seed. And neuropathy, yeah, that's good stuff. CBD will help people. It ain't like THC, but it'll help. Yeah, desert. I love California. I I miss it. And yeah, I wouldn't want to be in Jersey right now. Jesus, you're right there between New York and Philly. Not really my ideal spot, I would say. And besides, the fuck is in Jersey? That's a fucking toxic waste dump right there. Literally, how many toxic waste dumps are in New Jersey? I wouldn't drink bottled water in Jersey. I can't speak though, because I lived in fucking Philly for years, on and off. Philly, fucking Virginia Beach, same difference. Recreational is medical for the head, yeah. Well, yeah. That covers under medical though, too. There's no reason it shouldn't be legal for recreational. That's about the only stance I could actually take on that. There's no reason it shouldn't be. It's not harmful unless course, you are a free thought police. Then it's harmful to your ego, I guess. No free thought over there. You better quit thinking. Yeah, joint custody ain't no fun. I got lucky there. I didn't have to. I didn't have to deal with a whole lot of that. Uh, it's just been me and him. Uh, I've actually made him call his mom several times because she wanted to have a full life. Honest to God, I think at this point in her life, I think she's probably realizing the same thing I realized. She shorted herself big time. Uh, I agree. I mean, she had the right to have her own life, but she couldn't be dragging my son around to fucking concerts and shit and drinking and partying every night. That's not how you raise kids. And she agreed, so I got lucky. Like I said, I didn't really have to deal with a whole lot of that. I had to deal with politics as a full custody dad. They don't like that shit. Joe Piscopo's is injured. Well, that's a reason to be there, Reval. That's not really. Not really. Oh my god. Well, that's cool. He's actually not one of my favorite people, but it's all good. He's he's all right, but he's like everybody else. He's just a poison. Good old Joe. Yeah, yeah. I was that way in California for about 6 years, and she was living in Philadelphia. And when we moved, I moved against a specific order not to. Even though I moved 20, what was it, 2,200 miles closer to her, California had a problem with it. And they wanted me to come back for court, and I refused to. I did it over the phone. I hooked up a phone conference, and they had for 6 years, every 6 months, the county challenged my parentalship, not the mother, the county of fucking Fresno. And it was the same judge every time, 12 times, 12 custody battles in 6 years. And I moved. I had already won human and civil right violations against the county of Fresno because I had tried to get some food stamps for Seamus and I when I got injured. in a wreck. Illegal alien ran into me. I couldn't work, and they kept discriminating against me, and I took it to court and won. And then next day, I have DSS knocking on my door, talking about further endangerment of my son. So we moved out of Fresno into Dara and bounced to North Carolina from there because I was looking for somewhere to go. And I found Angel. I was like, oh my God, I'm coming out there and we're going to legalize pot for you. Didn't get pot legalized, but we legalized hemp. But yeah, man. So I went out there and the court was tripping. And I told this lady, I says, look, she's a lady judge. I said, look, I just moved 2,200 miles closer to the mother. I said, and she's never, I said, in 6 years, your county has challenged my, I told her just what I just told you, challenged my custody, not the mother. I said, and I found out that's another violation, human right violation, because that's harassment. Beyond harassment, I mean, that's right there. They're not allowed to do that. And she had done it 12 fucking times. So she's all like, she literally, and she's all like, on the phone conference, she says, well, how am I supposed to keep up with this? I just got this case over here the other day and starts giving me this long bullshit excuse. And I stopped her. I said, whoa. So what are you talking about? I said, you've been the judge on this case since day one, lady. And she's like, and I hear it on the flip, 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 flip. She's flipping through the pages. The next thing I heard is a gavel. She goes, boop, you're a resident of North Carolina. Enjoy your day, sir. Boop, bam. Bitch hung up the phone on me. Ooh, boy. So, yeah, that was the last time I ever had a custody anything. I've got it literally written into my custody order from Fresno County, from that judge, that I can medicate and grow around my son. I was the first person in California to ever have that on their fucking record. I had to fucking educate my judge on the benefits of medical marijuana right there in my custody hearing. When I was done that day, because I had come in, my lawyer had gotten a restraining order against me. I couldn't get near my son. I had already, they double jeopardied me with some shit that I got struck from the record in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, and flew back with my son because she had fucking kidnapped him against fucking orders of California and took him out there to show him off to her friends on daddy's dole. Her mom flipped out. She had my kid in a fucking cokehead's house, alcoholic cokehead's house, and she's like, "Man, you need to get." I was like, I didn't know where she went. And fucking, her dad wanted to see her, and my son's like 6 months old at the time. Totally took, and I was his only parent from like day four, and she just disappears with him one day, and on a plane. Told a judge out there that I was beating her. And I took her diary with me and handed it to the court clerk out there. And she had me have a seat, and the police were sitting there with me because they were ready to arrest me. I'd gone out there to challenge abuse charges. Well, she walked me to the clerk's office and took it right out of records because apparently, well, I read it myself. Uh, the incidents she used were actually in her diary, and she's the one that was self-admittedly getting violent with me and talking about how she doesn't understand how I put up with her and all kinds of shit like that. I'd never really I didn't know what she had said. I just took her diary because I knew she kept a diary and she left it there. So anyways, I flew back with my son because the police went and they knew where Seamus was and went and got him out of the cokehead's house. And I flew back to Fresno and I told my lawyer, I said, "Look, man, she's going to come back here and fucking eh, try to fucking clear her shit up. She's just that way. She's going to start some shit because she knows I can get her for fucking kidnapping at this." Well, she come back. He said, "No, there ain't nothing she can do." I was like, "Man, are you fucking kidding me?" It's very sexually biased, and you know that. And he kept blowing smoke and blowing smoke. Midnight, here comes the fucking sheriff, grabs my son out of the house and takes both of them to a fucking homeless shelter. Boom. She had full custody and a restraining order against me. I fired my attorney, went into fucking court and walked out full custody with medical rights. And every lawyer in that place was still there. I was the last case. They called me the first case, and I was the last case out of there. Is they put me on recess for a while because they went and investigated all this shit that I didn't know about that she was doing. That's another story. DSS in the courtroom saw something they didn't like about her because, well, she's very easy to set off. Yeah, I've described my girlfriends, right? She's very unstable, and she didn't really want to be mama anyways. She just knew that she was in trouble, and she was throwing a fit. And the court saw that and realized, oh my God, because they got looking into it, found out that she had actually been uh, fired 12 times in the last year prior to that. Is something I didn't know. Uh, well, or I guess it was like 8 months, almost a year, 12 times for physical altercations with either the boss or an employee. Uh, a lot of times intoxicated kind of shit. She's just really indignant. Really hot though. Yeah, I was with her for 9 years. Craziest woman I ever been with in my life. Jesus God. One time I had taken my buddy from Philadelphia out to California, and we were about Arizona. Coming through Texas was rough. Fucking, we got through Arizona. We were coming through the border, which they have right in the middle of the United States. That border check. Oh my God, man! So they pull us over. I'm in a 32-foot RV towing my fucking 14-foot Hallmark trailer behind me, which has big cutouts on both sides, big vents, because that was my portable glass blowing shop. And oh my God, man. This guy pulls us over. And my buddy Joe is typical Philly boy. He's about 3 inches taller than me, about 6 inches wider than me, and carrying some weight and tattooed from head to toe. Right? So this fucking Arizona cop is looking at Joe. Joe's sitting there. I could hear my passenger seat just crinkling under Joe's fucking sphincter tightening up. So Joe's real nervous already. He's sitting in the front seat next to me. And this guy wants to see all my paperwork and shit. So I'm digging out I give him the RV paperwork. Now he wants to see the uh, paperwork for the Hallmark, and I'm all like, fuck, man, I had just bought it and I forgot where it was. I'm digging through my shit. He's asking Joe, is there anybody else in there? He's like, yeah, there's his girlfriend in here. She's sleeping though. He's like, I want to see everybody. Started that number. And I'm all like, oh, God, no. You don't want me to wake her up. He's like, I need to see everybody in there. I was like, all right, all right. So I yelled in there and says, Callie. She's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, border guard wants to see you. She's like, fuck him. I'm sleeping. Oh God. I turned to him. He goes, he kind of leans in a little bit and says, ma'am, I need to see you right now. Here she goes. Boom, boom, the whole fucking RV. And she's only this big. I can tell she's pissed now because my RV's shaking. I'm all like, oh, and Joe, you should see Joe's face now. He's starting to turn a little bit white. Here she comes. She got her. She comes up to the door. She's wrapped up in her comforter. She says, "Hey, motherfucker, you see me now, motherfucker?" He's full throttle. Fucking, oh my God, his eyes cross, and I almost had to catch him. Fucking border guard. He's like, oh God. She's a little hottie too, boy. She's just up there like, bam, motherfucker, you see me now? My passenger seat completely disappears inside Joe's colon. He's ready for his fucking finger search. I know it's over already, just from the look on the border guard. The border guard's broken. He's completely fucking shattered in his mind, and he just looks at me like, oh. And I look at him, I'm like, I can't find my fucking. He goes, I don't. You're good, man. And he gets gives me the hand signal and walks away. I was like, hey. He fucking got in and drove off. My boy Joe's, oh my God, man, he's almost cried all the way to the fucking border of California. He said, dude, oh my God, I was seeing finger searches and everything. Oh, I'll never forget that moment. But yeah, that's typical of her behavior. So I knew how to set that off in court. It worked for me pretty good. Oh, Jesus. Like I said, they saw something that scared them. And they checked on her and found out that she had actually gotten a bunch of physical altercations that year. At work, drunk sometimes. She woke. He's in bed. Fucking, she woke up one time, fucking butt ass naked in her underwear in jail one time. I had no idea how she got there and shit. Her dad had to go bail her out. I was like, God, dude. Anyways, that's why I have chosen to be a monk for 15 fucking years. My kid don't need to be subjected to my bad choices, right? Yeah, I know, right? Well, we got stopped at the, like I said, we broke him. He was broken. He was absolutely fucking broken. He's probably telling that same story to his grandkids. So, I was a border guard once. You know, he told everybody. She's a little hottie too, man. She come out there and just totally fucking frontal flashed his ass. He had no idea what to do. He just fucking, oh god. Okay, there ain't no illegals in here, is there? I'm gone. She was rocking my RV back and forth. I knew we were in for it. I had no idea what was coming. Yep, that was Kelly. I think that's the first time I've ever actually said her name. Oh shit. No, honestly, that wasn't the craziest one I've ever been with. The craziest one I've ever been with, I actually married. I, I was with her for about 9 years too. Oh boy. I'm a dumbass. I'm straight fucktard when it comes to women, man. Ooh, baby. Abuse me. Anyway, I've been a lot happier since I gave it up. That's all I can say. God, man. He's like exactly. Tell you what, if you have a realization that your picker's broke, don't try and fix that fucking thing. I'm telling you right now, just fucking quit. It doesn't get no better. I'm 51 years old, man, and I'm still looking for the tightest ass in the room. I mean, I'm like, can I bounce a quarter off that? And I'm not talking about a flat. I like a nice little fucking handful of fucking apple ass that I can fucking bounce a quarter off of, and it picks up speed. That's priority one. Get my girls. I'm an asshole. I'm a shallow catfish. Listen to Rebo. Oh shit, he been listening in. I got some crazy girl stories, boy. I know I could keep up with the best on that end. We ain't even started on my ex-wife. Oh Jesus. Yeah, I usually don't talk about her because she's actually dead. So that I didn't have anything to do with that shit either. That came after we were divorced. She's a and the reason we got divorced too, of course. I mean, she was smoking crack. What can I say? We had a baby. I always pick these fucking women that like to party with babies. Not not on my watch. But yeah, she God man. I think she died at like 36, 35 or 36 years old. So it's been a while. It's been about 10, 12 years. But yeah, I tell one story about her. I don't get into the rest. God, man. That was yeah, it was probably oh my god, I call her my soulmate too. I can never get over that woman. No, no, that's his mom. I was never married to her. No. I'll tell stories about her all day. She's still alive. Yeah, that was a different one. Um, nah, she's the one that I came home late. I used to work with this dude named Craig Harms, and he'd pull out the tripods and generators, and we'd work at night some days if he wanted to cut in something before we went home. And I was a saw man, I had to run it. So we come home after dark, man, I'd be all smelly and black from running around in the dark sand down there in Florida of building houses. Lived out in the west side of Jacksonville with her. Sometimes we lived in the beach area. It just depended on what year. I was with her for 9 years. But I had bought a trailer out there on the west side. We lived out there towards the end. But well, she was out there. She had burnt the pan she was going to burn her bowl of spaghetti in. She was pissed off about that when I walked in the door. She burnt the water. she's I walked in the door and instantaneously she wanted to know who I was fucking. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking. I tried to give her a hug. She didn't want no part of my stinking ass, right? And I was like, well, who you think I've been fucking? You don't even want to give me a kiss. And she just started getting belligerent and shit. So I went back to the bedroom. I was going to take a shower, but I locked the door because she was ready to fight. Well, she came through the door that night, beat a hole in the door. And by the time she got the hole in the door, the fucking neighbor lady's mother was at our door knocking on it. And next thing I know, she's fighting with the neighbor lady's mom. And then the neighbor lady's over there wanting to fight with her. Next thing I know, the fucking here comes the fire truck. And I'm like, oh shit. They they called 911 on her. I'm in the bedroom still. And I come out and she's on the couch, jumping up and down with this big fucking butcher knife. The fire trucks in the fucking, or the fire guys are like right there. They don't know what to do. They're all like, oh shit. This bitch got a big knife. And she goes, fuck you all. Blah, blah. Starts fucking slicing her wrist. About that time, the cops start walking in. And the fucking fire guys go, she's all yours, dude. They literally just fucking scoot, man. They were like out of there. Like, the blood was flying. She had this fucking, it was like one of the big fucking 10-inch fucking butcher knives. And she's up there fucking, oh my God, man. They hit her. About four cops fucking had her tied down, had her hands behind her back, and they walked that girl out of my house. She was straight as a board. Wasn't nobody holding her feet. She was just straight as a board out, fucking with her feet out, screaming at top of her lungs. And she maintained that position in a cop car. I was impressed. I was like, holy fuck, that bitch is fucking crazy, and I'm married to it. Yeah, she was doing that. She it was fucking amazing. I was like, holy shit. This girl's so long. So what I do, I grab my fucking 12 pack at that point and fucking walk down to my friend Chris's house. I had planned on that lasting me a month. Me and my buddy fucking, well, six apiece, man. After that, I was drunk as fuck when I got home. But they had her on 72-hour lockdown there a few times, actually, but that was just one of them. You ever been in a fucking situation where the cops show up and take the woman away? Been in that situation an awful lot. Most guys are usually the ones that get in trouble. I get with them girls that there ain't no fucking question who's fucking causing the trouble. I mean, I fucking have it. Oh my god. Yeah, she was planked out. That's a she's planking. That's exactly what she was, just straight as stiff as a fucking board. And there's a cop on either side of her up here, but she was out here just kicking straight up. Trying to fucking grab at anything she could with her fucking hands, and she couldn't. It was fucking nuts. She'd come up and fucking kick the door frame when they were trying to walk her out. You know what I mean? She'd kick them back and almost knock the fucking cops back at one point. But yeah, they finally got her in the car. God. Yeah, I love them crazy women. What can I say? I don't know what's good for me. That's why I gave them up. I had a whole long line of those. I always tell you guys about my friend Angel and how I've lived with her family in several states. I also dated her sister. Oh my God, her sister's about to, oh my God. Oh my God, so hot. Angel hates me for it too. I can't help it. Well, she doesn't hate me. She loves me to death, but that's the problem. Uh, you know, we've known each other for fucking 30 years. Um, anyways, yeah, me and her sister went out. That girl right there, boy, I'll tell you what. She's, she's a crazy. She's, she's almost as crazy as the one I married. Boy, I'll tell you, she fisted me one time, uh, right in the forehead. She was drunk. She liked rum, and her daughter had not picked up her shoes where she had left them in the. Her daughter hadn't picked up her shoes that she had left in the living room, and she threw her daughter across the living room. And I was on the couch when that happened, and I realized her daughter wasn't my kid, but I was in the house. I wasn't going to have that kind of shit going. So I said something. So you don't need to be throwing her around like that shit. She come right up to me, says, "You don't need to be telling me how to act with my kids," and punched me in the forehead. Ran out the fucking front door, screaming, "Call 911, call 911." So she gets there, and the cops come back, and I answer the door. I got this big, and she's doing cartwheels upset on the fucking front porch, and they ended up taking her out of there too. Nice. Hey, I'm sending out a raw and a horse and that fucking dildo finally because I got the check for it today, so that's going out in the mail tomorrow morning. Speaking of which, let's blow some glass while we're here and listen to some Josh Reeves. I think I've got enough coffee in me for 1 o'clock in the morning.
So Inky did suggest to Enlil, and considered the words of the place of the celestial chariots. Utu must again be the commander. Let the gazing lion, precisely eastward facing, with Ningajita's image be. When the work to cut and shake the lion from the bedrock was proceeding, Marduk spoke words of agreement to his father Enki. To dominate the whole earth, you promised to me. Now command and glory are granted to others. Without task or dominion I am left. In my erstwhile domain are the artifice mounds situated. On the lion, the image must be mine. By these words of Marduk, Ningishita was angry. The other sons were also annoyed. By the clamor for domains, Ninurta and his brothers were also aroused. Lands for themselves and devoted earthlings, everyone was demanding. Oh, is this sort of the key to how we have religions being set up all around the world and have the same stories?
You think?
Because everybody's wanting their own, piece of the pie. Everybody's wanting their own dominion, their own area where they can basically be God. See, they're fighting them. Well, I want to be a God too.
Uh-huh.
Put yourself in their shoes. You probably do it the same way. I'd probably do the same way. Well, that's not fair. He gets to be a god and have all this land over here, and he's, your son, and I'm your son too, and daughter, and he gets to be a god and have what earthlings worship him. How come I don't get that? No fair.
Pretty much.
Lands for themselves and devoted earthlings, everyone was demanding. Let this celebration not become a contest. Ninmah raised her voice and shouted. The earth is still in heaven. We Anunnaki are few. Of the earthlings, there are only survivors. Let Marduk not deprive Ningishita of the honor. But also let us heed Marduk's words. So did Ninmah the peacemaker say to the contending leaders. For peace to prevail, the habitable lands between us should be set apart. Enlil said to Enki. To make the peninsula an uncontested divider, they agreed. To the peacemaker, Ninmah, they allotted it. Tilman, the land of the missiles, they named it. Oh, Tilman, the land of the missiles. Well, that's, what that is.
Tillman fucking missiles.
That's what the original name of Sumeria, Mesopotamia, was. It was something like the land of the something with the land of something with blazing rockets was what it was. Everard talks about that, I think, in his Secret Space 2 movie. The habitable lands to the east thereof to Enlil and his offspring were set apart. For the descendants of the two sons of Zisidra, Shem and Japhet, therein to dwell. The dark-hued landmass that the Abzu included was for Enki and his clan and their domain. The people of Zisidra's middle son, Ham, were chosen to inhabit it. To make Marduk their lord of their lands the master, Enki, to appease his son, suggested, by your wish, let it be so, Enlil said to Enki. In Tilman, in its mountainous south, an abode for Ninmah, his mother, Ninurta built. Near a spring with date trees, a Burton Valley is located. The mountain peak, Ninurta Terrace, a fragrant garden for Ninmah he planted. When all was thus completed, a signal to all outposts on earth was given. From the mountainsides across the ocean, whirlwinds brought the golden nuggets. From the place of the celestial chariots to Nibiru, the gold was wafted.
You talk about Peru.
On that memorable day, Enlil and Enki said to each other and agreed, let us, Ninmah the peacemaker, honor her with a new epithet. Ningharsag, mistress of the mountainhead, let us name her. By acclamation was Ninmah given the honor, and henceforth Ninarshag she was called. Praise to Ninarshag, on earth the peacemaker. In unison, the Anunnaki proclaimed. So that is the end right there. Synopsis of the 11th tablet is coming up, so we'll be getting into that next. So we're leaving off on page 240. 240 is the end, so the synopsis of the 11th tablet is next. That's what we'll be picking up next time on the show. Wow, 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 wow. Awesome, awesome stuff. Completely mind-blowing stuff. Man, every show this week, last night, tonight especially, oh, man. It shows like these and why I do this. Synopsis of the 11th tablet. The Lost Book of Enki. The spaceport's land, Tillman, is declared a neutral zone. It is granted to Ninmah, who is renamed Ninurshak. Marduk gets the Dark Lands, the Ililites, the Olden Lands. Marduk's grandsons quarrel. Satu murders Asar, impregnating herself. Asar's wife, Asta, bears Horon.
Back in a minute, I got a piss.
In aerial battles over Tillman, Horon vanquishes Satu. The Enlilites deem it prudent to prepare another spaceport. Enki's son Dumuzi and Anana, Enlil's granddaughter, fall in love. By the way, in the new Ancient Aliens, they seem to indicate a strong connection between, or maybe actually not in the newest one, the one before last. They seem to indicate strongly that these religious places like the Temple Mount and all this stuff may be some of these landing pads. They call them landing pads, but they fail to mention in the show that, these Sumerian texts talk about the creation of landing pads in these areas. Some of our listeners have been paying quite good attention to this stuff and trying to track down some of these locations. I got several messages from listeners last week. We were talking about them creating this, the landing pad and the Hall of Records with the crystals. And it's funny, everything that our listeners found tend to be around these locations like, places in the Middle East or, Temple Mount in Israel or Mount Sinai,
What's that?
Now, wouldn't that be interesting? One of our listeners pointed out that this Hall of Records thing that the Anunnaki supposedly set up seemed to be described as being around the area of Mount Sinai.
Stop it.
That would confirm what I thought since I was a little kid, wouldn't it? Ever since I was a little kid, man, the Ten Commandments comes on every year around Easter with Charlton Heston. And, he's about to go up on Mount Sinai to get the tablets. And even with that ancient technology, they show this, they show Mount Sinai. It's like glowing red and smoke. It looks like there's a fucking UFO on top of it or something. Ever since I was a kid, I knew there was something that was aliens, that he was going up there and talking to aliens. Because there was a whole other set of commandments as well that don't get talked about as much. The 7 aphorisms of Summum. And when you read the 7 aphorisms, the 7 aphorisms are described. I've read them many times on the show, probably 3 or 4 different broadcasts. I've read them. But you can look up the 7 aphorisms of Summum. And the 7 aphorisms sound like, supposedly what the 7 aphorisms were, they were the other commandments that Moses didn't feel the Jews could handle. And when you read them, they sound like the playbook that the elite used. It talks openly about not allowing yourself and your emotions to be swung like a pendulum, or your beliefs to be swung back and forth, left and right like a pendulum. But keeping them centered and not getting caught up in either one of those illusions is, the key to success. So the antithesis of that would be what? To keep somebody in a constant state of being swung like a pendulum, right? Left, right, back and forth. And what do they do with politics? Left, right, back and forth. They keep us off kilter. And who's participating in that? Well, as my work into the Council for National Policy has shown, part of the importance of why we have to expose these Council for National Policy connected cronies in the patriot movement, research community and stuff, is that exact fact. They're participating in keeping people back and forth in this left-right paradigm stuff, while simultaneously claiming they don't believe in the left-right paradigm, keeping people, I don't believe, how can you, Alex Jones says he doesn't believe in the left-right paradigm, yet vote for Ron Paul. If you didn't believe and support that system, you wouldn't tell somebody to vote for any candidate, because you're still getting people to participate in that phony system, and that is not going to solve anything.
Yep.
And Jones and Ron Paul and all the rest of these clowns know that. And they're just there designed to suck more money out of you and get you to be pissed off.
There you go.
When the phony system proves to you
All
something
of
you should already know.
All of them.
But it's not designed for you. And they're just using Ron Paul and that whole thing all over again to get people pissed off.
Absolutely.
Poppy mad, wanting to arm conflict. When they show everybody yet again
100%.
that the elections are controlled, they're phony, they're fake. But this time they want to use it to get people really hot and mad. That's why these guys need to be exposed. The Inner-Lights team at Bryn to prepare another spaceport. Inky, sons of Musi and Inanna, and Lil's granddaughter fall in love. Fearing the consequences, Marduk causes Musi's death. Seeking his body, Inanna is put to death and then resurrected. Inanna launches a war to seize and punish Marduk. The Inner-Lights break into his hideaway in the Great Mount. They seal the uppermost chamber to entomb Marduk alive. So they sealed Marduk inside the Temple Mount, the Great Mount. That's why the Temple Mount in Jerusalem is so holy. Okay. But they entombed Marduk inside of it alive. Well, religion just makes so much more sense to me now when I read this stuff. Marduk's wife Serpanit and his son Nabu plead for his life. Ningazita, knowing the Mount's secrets, reaches Marduk, and Marduk is spared his life and goes into exile. Enki and Enlil divide the earth among their other sons. Praise to Nanarshag on earth, the peacemaker, in unison the Anunnaki proclaims. During the first Shar after the deluge, Nanarshag managed to cool down the tempers. Near Nibiru, to be resupplied with gold was paramount over ambitions and rivalries. Slowly, the earth returned to teem with life, with the seeds of life that were prepared by Enki, or preserved by Enki, rather. What by itself survived was augmented on land, in the air, and waters. Most precious of all the Anunnaki discovered were mankind's own remnants. As in bygone clays, when the primitive workers were created, the Anunnaki, few and strange, now clamored for civilized workers. By the time the first Shar after the deluge was completed, the peaceful truce by an unexpected occurrence was shattered. Not between Marduk and Ninurta, not between Enki and the Enlil clans, but by Marduk's own sons, the Agigi abetted. When Marduk and Serpanit and their sons and daughters on Lamu outweighted the deluge, the two sons, Asar and Satu, took a liking to the daughters of Shamagzag, the Agigi leader. When they all returned to Earth, the two brothers and the two sisters espoused. Asar, the one called Asta, chose. Satu, the one called Nabat, betrothed. Asar, with his father Marduk of the dark-hued lands, chose to abide. Satu, near the landing place where the Agigi dwelt, Shamgaz made his dwelling there. Shamgaz was concerned about the domains on earth. Where shall the Agigi masters be? So did Shamgaz incite the other Agigi, and of that Nabat to Satu daily spoke. By staying with his father Asar, the successor alone shall be. The fertile lands he will inherit. So did Shamgaz and his daughter Nabat say to Satu day after day. How the succession in the hands of Satu alone was to retain father and daughter scheme. On an auspicious day, they made a banquet. They invited the Igigi and the Anunnaki. Asar, unsuspecting, also came with his brother to celebrate. Nabat, his spouse's sister, prepared the tables, and she also set footstools out for them. She beautified herself with a lyre in hand and sang a mighty song to the Asar. Satu, before him, cut choice roasted meat with a salted knife, and Shamgaz, in a large goblet, offered Asar new wine with an admixture that he had made for him. A large vessel, mighty to look upon, with elixir wine he gave him. In good humor was Asar. Merrily he arose and sang. With cymbals in his hand he chanted. Then by the admixtured wine he was overcome and fell to the ground. Let us for a sound sleep take him, the other hosts at the banquet said. But they carried Asar to another chamber and laid him in a coffin. The coffin was tight with seals. They closed it and threw it into the sea. When word of what happened reached Asta, to Marduk, her husband's father, she raised a wailing. Asar was put to his death in the sea's depths and brutally thrown in. Quickly must the coffin be found. They searched the sea for Asar's coffin. By the shores of the dark-hued land it was found. Inside, the stiff body of Asar lay. From its nostrils the breath of life had departed. Marduk, his clothes rent, on his forehead he put ashes. My son, Sir Panic cried and wept. Great were her grief and mourning. Enki was distraught and wept. The curse of Cain is repeated to his son in agony, he said. Asta, the high heavens raised a wailing to Marduk for revenge. In air an appeal she made. Satu, his death must meet. By your own seed a successor let me conceive. Let by your name his name be remembered, the lineage surviving. This, alas, cannot be done, Enki to Marduk and Asta said. The brother who killed the brother's brother must be the keeper. For this, Satu must be spared. By his seed and heir to Asar you must conceive. By these twists of fate, Asta was baffled, distraught. The rule to defy she was determined. Before the body of Asar was wrapped in a shroud in a shrine preserved, from his phallus Asta extracted the seed of life. With it, Asta herself was made to conceive, an heir and avenger to Asar be born.
Sound familiar?
So she just went over there while his ship was still, well, fuck it, he's still got some juice in there somewhere. Weave it in there. To Enki and his sons, to Marduk and his brothers, Satu delivered the word. The sole heir and Marduk's successor am I. Of the land of the two narrows I will be the master. Before the Anunnaki council Asta the claim refuted. With Asar's heir I am with child. Among the river's bulrushes with child she hid. The wrath of Satu she was avoiding.
Yeah,
Horon,
so
she called
familiar,
the
doesn't it?
boy. To be his father's avenger, she raised him. Satu was disconcerted by this.
That's the
and
Isis
Shamgaz did not
Horus
retreat
myth,
from his
isn't it?
ambitions. From Earth year to Earth year, the Agigi and their offspring spread from the landing place
That's how
unto
they
the borders of
changed
Tilma.
this shit.
In Nanarshik's sacred region,
I'm
They
going to take
moved
the dog for a
closer.
walk. I'll be back.
to overrun the place of the celestial chariots, the Agigi and their earthlings threatened. In the dark-hued lands, the child Horon, by Earth's quick life cycles, grew to a hero. By his great uncle Gibble was Horon adopted. By him he was trained and instructed. For him, Gibble winged sandals for soaring fashion. To fly like a falcon he was able. So he had flying shoes. He's like Icarus or something. For him, for Gibble, a divine harpoon was made. Its arrows were bolts of missiles. In the highlands of the south, he taught Gibble the arts of metals and smithing. The secret of a metal called iron, Gibble revealed to Horon. From it, Horon made weapons. From loyal earthlings, he raised an army. Well, so there you go. So it was these fuckers who were responsible for bringing weapons to mankind and getting us loyal to a cause to fight a war for these gods. So, there you go. Shit just doesn't change. We've known that, haven't we? To challenge Satu and the Igigi northward across the land and river they marched. When Horon and his earthling reached the border of Tillman, the land of the missiles they reached. Kingin, it's like Kingin Air or something like that. Land of the flaming rockets. Satu sent words of challenge to Horon. Between us two alone is the conflict. Let us one-on-one meet in contest. In the skies above Tillman, Satu in his whirlwind awaited Horon for combat. Horon soared skyward towards him like a falcon. A poisoned dart at him Satu shot like a scorpion sting. It felled Horon. When Asta saw this, a cry to heaven she sent forth. For Ningazita she cried out. From his celestial boat, Ningazita came down to save the hero. For his mother he came. With magic powers, Ningazita converted the poison to benevolent blood. By morning was Heron healed, and from the dead he was returned. Then with a fiery pillar, like a heavenly fish with fins and a fiery tail, Ningazita provided to Horon. Its eyes from blue to red to blue, their colors changed. Toward the triumphant Satu, Horon in the fiery pillar soared. Far and wide each other they chased, fierce and deadly was the battle. At first, Horon's fiery pillar was hit. And then with his harpoon, Horon smote Satu. To the ground, Satu came crashing down. By Horon in tethers he was bound. When before the council, Horon with his captive uncle came. They saw that he was blinded, his testicles squashed. Ugh. Like a discarded jar he stood. Let Satu, blind and airless, live, so did Asta say to the council. To end his days as immortal among the Igigi, the council determined his fate. Triumphant was Horon declared, the throne of his father to inherit. On a metal tablet was the council's decision inscribed in the Royal Hall of Records. They placed it. In his abode, Marduk, with the decision, was pleased. By what had happened, he was sorrowed. Though Horon, a son of Asar, was born, from Shangaz, the Igigi, he was descended. A domain, one as the Anunnaki allocated to him, was not given. Having lost both sons in each other, Marduk and Serpenit sought solace. In time to them another son was born, Nabu, prophecy bearer, they named him. And now this is the account of why in the far away of a new chariot's place was built. And that takes place, let's see, what page is it? 247. 247. So you guys try to help me remember that for the tomorrow's show. And we'll pick up right there where we left off. Interesting stuff. It's getting farther into
fucking good inch of snow out there.
This whole the whole changing and creation. Now we're starting to see more and more evidence of that's leading up to what we can reference as the building of culture and society on our planet. That's really what this is. That's why it's been kept so closely guarded for so many years and it's had so much disinformation talked about it because again, if we gain knowledge that we're seeking, we're going to have a chance to turn things around. We allow ourselves to remain not only in ignorance, but in willful ignorance by refusing to look at things that we feel sometimes I won't believe that. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's kookery. Oh, that's moonbagging stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But those are the kind of self-imposed mental prisons that they want us to keep ourselves in.
Yep.
And believe me, I've had to work through this, man. I've had to, there's a lot of this stuff a couple of years ago I thought was kookery too, and then more evidence comes out and it's hard to ignore. So it's part of the progression, and it's part of allowing yourself to expand the base of what you believe is possible. And that's another part of the control system. They want to keep your whole spectrum of how much you believe is possible very restricted, very small, because then they have a better chance of getting roped in with things like religion and media and television and all the programming.
Yep.
Now is the most important time, more important than it ever has been, folks. I mean, to really be thinking for yourself and not having your beliefs swayed by an entity, a government entity, an alien entity, whatever kind, any kind of entity, you know, TV entity, a media entity, whatever it may be. More important right now than ever that we have logical thinkers who are, not just basing what they feel and what they believe on their emotions. You can bet your bottom dollar that's going to be manipulated more and more coming very soon. Now this is the account of why in the faraway a new chariot's place was built. And the love of Dumuzi and Inanna that Marduk by Dumuzi's death disrupted. It was after the contesting of Horon and Satu and their aerial battle over Tilman that Enlil summoned a council of his 3 sons. With concern of what was happening to them, he talked about, in the beginning, the earthlings in our image, and after our likeness we made. Now the Anunnaki offspring in the image and likeness of earthlings became. There's the conundrum. They made us like them, and then they became us, essentially. Then it was Cain who killed his brother. Now, a son of Marduk, his brother, is killed. For the first time ever, an Anunnaki offspring from earthlings raised an army. Weapons from metal of the Anunnaki, a secret, in their hands he placed. From the days when by the Alalu and the Anzu our legitimacy was challenged, disruption and rule breaking by the Agigi continued. Now the beacon peaks in the domain of Marduk are located. The landing place by the Agigi is held. Now toward the place of the chariots, the Agigi are advancing. With the name of Satu, to all the heaven-earth facilities they claim will lay. So Enlil did say to his 3 sons to take counter steps to them. He proposed an alternative heaven-earth facility we must establish in secret. Let it be in the Ninurta's lands beyond the ocean, in the midst of trusted earthlings come to be. Thus was the secret mission in the hands of Ninurta entrusted. In the mountain lands beyond the oceans beside the Great Lake, a new bond of heaven and earth he was setting up, and within it he placed an enclosure. At the foot of the mountain where the gold nuggets were scattered, a plain with firm ground he chose, and he made markings on it for ascent and descent. Primitive are the facilities, but the purpose they will serve. So did Ninurta to his father Enlil in good time declare. From there, the gold shipments to Nibiru can continue, and there will be, and from there, in need, we too can ascend. At that time, what as a blessed event began as a horrible occurrence ended. At that time, Dumuzi, Enki's youngest son, to Inanna, Nanar's daughter, took a liking. Inanna, Enlil's granddaughter, by the Lord of Herding, was captivated. A love that knows no bounds engulfed. A passion inflamed in their hearts. Many of the love songs that for a long time thereafter were sung, Inanna and Dumuzi were the first to sing them.
Inanna is one of the
And by song they recounted their love.
ever.
To Dumuzi, his youngest son, Enki, allotted a lot.
Inanna is the first ever known name of an author on the planet. So they said.
Large domain above the Abzu. Maluha, the Black Land was its name. Highland trees there grew and waters abundant. Large bulls roamed among its rivers, and greatly numbered were its cattle. That sounds like Texas. That's what we have up in the area of North Texas where I live. It's the Black Land Prairie. And they talk about highlands and, highland trees and all the areas in Dallas where like the rich people live. It's called Highland Park, not too far from where George Bush Jr. lives. And hell yeah, we got a bunch of cattle down here in Texas. Fuck. Large bulls among its river reeds roamed, greatly numbered were its cattle. Silver from its mountains came, its copper bright as gold was a glitter. Greatly beloved was Dumuzi by Enki after the death of Asar. He was favored. Of his youngest brother Marduk, he was jealous. Inanna by her parents, Ninar and Ningal was beloved, and Enlil sat by her cradle. Beautiful beyond describing she was. In martial arts with the Anunnaki heroes she competed. Of journeys in the heavens and of celestial boats, she learned from her brother Utu. A skyship of her own to roam in Earth's skies, the Anunnaki presented to her. After the deluge on the landing platform, Dumuzi and Inanna set their eyes on each other. At the dedication of the artificed mounds, they had a warm encounter between them. At first, they were hesitant, he of Enki's clan, she of Enlil and offspring. When in Arshak for peace, the disputing clans were brought together. Inanna and Dumuzi managed to get away from the others and professed their love to each other. As they went strolling together, sweet words of alluring love they said to each other. Side by side, they laid down, one heart with what the other heart chatted. I think we're about to have some semen pouring going on and some wounds. Around her waist, Dumuzi put his arm like a wild bull to take her, he wished. Let me take you. Let me teach you. To Inanna, Dumuzi said, yeah, he's going to teach you, all right. Gently she kissed him, and then to him of her mother she spoke. What fib could I tell my mother? What words will you tell Ningal? Let us tell my mother of our love, of joy cedar perfume she will sprinkle on us. To the dwelling place of Ningal and Anna's mother the lovers went. To them Ningal gave her blessing. Of Dumuzi, the mother of Inanna, approved. Lord Dumuzi, as son-in-law of Ninar, you are worthy to him, she said. Dumuzi, as bridegroom by Ninar himself, was welcome. Inanna's brother Utu said, let it be so. Perchance the espousing peace between the clans truly will bring. Enlil said to them all. When of the love and betrothal Dumuzi to his father and brothers spoke, Enki of peace through espousal was also thinking, and he gave his blessing also to Dumuzi. Dumuzi's brothers, all except Marduk, were joyful about the espousal. A betrothal bed of gold by Gibel was fashioned. Nergal blue-hued lapis stones were sent. Sweet dates, a fruit favored by Inanna, was placed in piles beside the bed. Under the fruits, the beads of lapis they hid for Inanna to discover. As the custom was, to perfume and clothe Inanna, a sister of Dumuzi, was sent. Inanna, and sister-in-law to be, was her name. To her, Inanna revealed what was in her heart. Of her future with Dumuzi, she said to her, a vision of a great nation I have. As a great Anunnaki, Dumuzi will rise. His name shall be exalted over others. His queen spouse I shall be. Princely status we will share. Rebellious countries together we shall subdue. To Dumuzi I will give his country the status, and I will rightly direct it. Inanna's vision of rulership and glory, my guest Inanna, to her brother Marduk, were reported. By Inanna's ambitions, Marduk was greatly disturbed. To guest Inanna, a secret plan he told. To her brother Dumuzi, to the herder's dwelling, Gishtiana went. Lovely to behold and perfumed, to her brother Dumuzi thus said, The four with your young wife in your embrace with you will sleep. A legitimate heir by a sister born you must have. An honest son to succession shall not be entitled. On your mother's knees he will not be raised. She put his hand in her hand. She pressed her body against his body. Uh-oh. My brother, with you I will lie down. Bridegroom, with you a peer of Enki we shall have. So did Geshtiana to Dumuzi whisper, a noble issue from her womb to have. Here we go. In her womb. In her womb, Dumuzi poured the semen. By her caressing, he fell asleep. During the night, Dumuzi had a dream, a premonition of death he envisioned. In the dream, 7 evil bandits he saw coming into his dwelling. The master has sent us for you, son of Datur, they said to him. They chased away his ewes, his lambs, and they drove away the kids. The headdress of lordship they took off his head, and they tore the royal robe off of his body. The staff of shepherding they took and broke. His cup from its peg they threw down. Naked and barefooted they seized him, in fetters they bound his hands. In the name of the princely bird and the falcon they left him dying. Disturbed and startled Dumuzi in the middle of the night awoke and told his dream to Geshtiana. The dream is not favorable, Geshtiana said to the distraught Dumuzi. Marduk will accuse you of raping me, and he will send evil towards you. To try you and disgrace you, he will order the liaison with Enlilite to disunite. As a wounded beast, Dumuzi roared out a cry. Betrayal, betrayal, he shouted. To Utu, Inanna's brother, help me. He sent word, the name of his father, Enki, as a talisman he uttered. Through the desert of Imush, the snake's desert, Dumuzi rushed to escape. To the place of mighty waterfalls from the evildoers, he ran to hide. Where the gushing waters made the rocks slippery smooth, Dumuzi slipped and fell. The onrushing waters swept his lifeless body away in a white froth. Evil emissaries to arrest you. Now, this is the account of Inanna's descent into the lower Abzu. As the great Anunnaki war and how Marduk in the Ikur alive was imprisoned. When the lifeless body of Dumuzi from the Great Lakes water was retrieved by Ningal, the body was brought to the abode of Nergal and Ereshkigal in the lower Abzu. They placed on a stone slab the dead body of Dumuzi. When word of what happened was sent to Enki, Enki rent his clothes. On his forehead he put ashes. My son, for Dumuzi he lamented. What have I sinned to be so punished? Out loud he asked. When I to earth from Nibiru came, Ea, he whose home is waters, was my name. With waters did the celestial chariots obtain their thrust power. In waters I splashed down. Then by an avalanche of waters the earth was swept over. In waters did Asar, my grandchild, drown. By waters my beloved Dumuzi is now dead. Everything I had done for righteous purpose did I do it. Why am I punished, and why has fate turned against me? So Enki did bewail and lament. When from Geshtiana the veracity of occurrences was discovered, greater was Enki's agony. Now Marduk, my firstborn, for his deed will also suffer. By the disappearance and death of Dumuzi was Inanna worried and then grieved. Then to the lower Abzu she hurried. For burial, she went to retrieve Dumuzi's body for burial. When Ereskkigal, her sister, was told of the arrival of Inanna at the precinct's gates, Ereskkigal suspected a devious scheme on the part of Inanna. At each of the 7 gates, one of Inanna's accoutrements and weapons was removed from her. Then, unclothed and powerless before Ereskkigal's throne, of an heir, Nergal, Dumuzi's brother, she was accused. Trembling with fear, Ereskkigal, to her sister's explanations, would not listen. Let loose against her the 60 diseases. Ereskkigal, her vizier, Namatar, ordered in anger.
60 disease? That's rough. That's a lot of diseases.
By the disappearance of Inanna in the lower Abzu, her parents were much worried. Nanar went to Enlil with the matter, and Enlil sent a message to Enki. From Nergal, his son, Ereskkigal's spouse, Enki had learned what had happened. From clay of the Abzu, Enki fashioned 2 emissaries, beings without blood and by death rays unharmed. To the lower Abzu he sent them to bring Inanna back, whether alive or dead. When before Ereskkigal they came, Ereskkigal was puzzled by their appearance. Are you Anunnaki? Are you earthlings? With bewilderment she asked them. She didn't know what these things are. Namtar directed magical weapons of power against them, but unharmed the 2 were. To the lifeless body of Inanna he took them, hanging from a stake she was. Upon the corpse, the clay emissaries directed a pulsar and an emitter. Then the water of life they sprinkled on her, and in her mouth the plant of life they placed. Then Inanna stirred, her eyes she opened. From the dead, Inanna arose. When the 2 emissaries, Inanna to the upper world, were ready to return, Inanna, the lifeless body of Dumuzi, ordered them to take along with him. At the 7 gates of the lower Abzu, to Inanna, her accoutrements and attributes were returned. To the abode of Dumuzi in the Black Land, the rover of her youth, she ordered the emissaries to take her, to wash him with pure water and anoint him with sweet oil, then to clothe him in a red shroud and lay him upon a slab of lapis. Then in the rocks for him a rest place carve out, there to await the day of the arising. So they've highlighted that. There in the rocks for him a rest place to carve out the day of arising, there to await. They're alluding this to being like, what happened to Christ. Right? They put him up on the cross, and they put him in this, rock place, and then a couple of days later he came out. So that's another indicator that Jesus, if he did exist, was most likely one of these Anunnaki guys, coming down and setting himself up as, the Messiah. Because, as it says here, these Anunnaki guys turned to human life, right? So they still basically have because of the different inbreeding, they still have the traits of the Anunnaki, but they were human sized and looked like us, but they were still very much Anunnaki. And that's more likely what Jesus was, according to, now that we're looking at this. He was just one of those. He wasn't setting themselves up as gods anymore because they weren't giants and the rest of it. They looked like normal mortal men. But they set themselves up as messiahs that had, traits and abilities that were beyond what mere mortal men have. Very interesting. As for herself, Inanna set her steps in the abode of Enki. Retribution for her beloved's death she wanted, and she demanded the death of the culprit of the death of Marduk. There has been death enough, Enki said to her. Marduk was an instigator, but a murderer he committed not. When Inanna learned that Marduk would not be punished by Enki, Inanna went to her parents and brothers. To high heaven she raised a wailing. Justice, revenge, death to Marduk, she cried forth. And in Lil's abode, his sons Inanna and Utu joined a council of war they gathered. Ninurta, whom the rebel Anzu defeated, argued for strong measures. Of secret words between Marduk and the Igigi were exchanged, and Utu reported to them. Of Marduk, an evil serpent, earth must be rid. Enlil agreed with them. When the demand for Marduk's surrender to Enki was sent to his father, Enki to his abode summoned Marduk and all other sons. Though for my beloved Dumuzi I am still grieving, Marduk's rights I must defend. Though evil did Marduk instigate by ill fate, not by Marduk's hand did Dumuzi die. Marduk is my firstborn. Ninki is his mother. For secession he is destined. From death by Ninurta's gang, by us all he must be protected. So Enki did say. Only Gibel and Ningal heeded their father's call. Ningishita was opposed. Nergal was hesitant. Only if in mortal danger he will I help, he said. It was after that a war of ferocity unknown between the two clans erupted. Unlike the contending of Horon and Satu, of earthlings descended, it was a battle between Anunnaki, Nibirian born among them, on another planet was loose. By Inanna was the warfare begun. In her skyship, to the domains of Enki's son, she crossed over. Yeah, well, there you go. Sorry, ladies, but it's always a bitch's fault. Marduk to battle she challenged to the domains of Ningal and Gibel she pursued. To assist her, Ninurta, yeah, see, they've always blamed wars on men. And see, I've always known it was these fucking females behind the scenes that were always starting shit. Women always start wars, and then the guys always get the blame for it. I'm sorry, I have to say that. It's the goddamn truth. To assist her, Ninurta, from his stormbird, withering beams, he shot withering beams at the enemy stronghold from his stormbird, from the fucking Klingon bird of prey. Fire! Ishkar from the skies with scorching lightnings and smashing thunders attacked. In the Abzu from the rivers, he washed fish away, and he dispersed cattle in the fields. To the north, to the place of the artifice mounds, Marduk then retreated. Pursuing him, Ninurta, on his habitations, rained down poison-bearing missiles. His weapon that tears apart the people in those lands, robbed of their senses. The canals that rivers bore, from red blood came. Ishkar's brilliances the night's darkness into flaming days converted. As the devastating battles advanced northward, Marduk in the Iker was ensconced. Gibel had devised an unseen shield. Nergal raised to heaven its all-seeing eye. So this is some sort of shield or a weapon that they're calling an all-seeing eye. Isn't that interesting? Radar. With a weapon of brilliance by a horn directed, Inanna attacked the hiding place. Horon, to defend his grandfather, came. By her brilliance, his right eye was damaged. Right nuclear weapons, I suppose. While Utu and their horde, the Igigi and the Earthlings beyond Tillman, held off. At the foot of the Artifice Mounds, Anunnaki, this and that clan supporting in battle clashed. Let Marduk surrender, let the bloodshed end, so did Enlil convey words to Enki.
No bloodshed.
Let brother to brother talk.
As usual.
To Enki, Ninarshad sent a message. In his hideout within the Ikur, Marduk continues to defy his pursuers. Within the house, which, like a mountain, is his final stand to be made. Inanna deflected her weapons, and none of the massive stone structure could not surmount. Its smooth sides, her weapons deflected. Then Ninurta learned of a secret entrance, the swivel stone on the north side he found. Through a dark corridor, Ninurta passed, the grand gallery he reached. In the vault, by the many-hued emissions of the crystals like a rainbow, was a glitter. Inside, by the intrusion alerted, Marduk was ready with weapons. Ninurta awaited. With weapons responding, smashing the wonder crystals, Ninurta kept going up the gallery. Into the upper chamber, the place of the great pulsating stone, Marduk retreated. At its entrance, Marduk lowered the sliding stone locks from one and barred admission from everyone else. Into the Akur, Nana and Ishkur, Ninurta followed. What to do next, they contemplated. Let the encased hiding chamber be Marduk's stone coffin to them, Ishkur said. To 3 blocking stones, ready for down gliding, Ishkur drew their attention. Let slow death by alive being buried be Marduk's sentence. Inanna gave her consent. At the end of the gallery, let loose the 3 blocking stones. Each one of them slid down 1 stone for plugging the hole. Marduk is in a tomb, is sealed in as a tomb. Now this is the account of how Marduk was saved and to exile departed.
Well, of course.
And how Akur was dismantled and kingship over the lands, lordship over the lands was rearranged. So bottom of 258, starting at into 259, 259. That'll be where we'll pick up next time. And continues to get interesting. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to read next after this. More and more biblical correlations, more correlations, and we're seeing where these real stories in the Bible are coming from thousands of years before biblical times.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've known this for a lot of years, but a lot more people are now starting to figure this out due to listening to the show and hearing the stuff on YouTube and reading it. So that's great. I'm glad to see that people are finally starting to figure this out. We're going to leave it there tonight. My website where this broadcast originates from is www.theglobalreality.com. I got to get back to working on this film, probably pulling on all-nighter. Man, I'm going to need a fucking vacation after this movie's done. I'll tell you what.
Tomorrow morning, I'm making dragonflies. Or at least one.
Please support our work if you can. TheGlobalReality.com. Check the banner, donate button. Please support if you can. I got to eat, live, and survive, and this is my livelihood, folks. And it's been kind of slow this week, so support us if you can. My name's Josh Reeves. I love each and every one of you. We'll see you next time for the broadcast. You guys have a great one. Take care.
Walking down the street, so I opened up my eyes, and I took a look at wearing across the sky, the melody starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now. The revolution starts now. I'm waiting for you.